Hiya, Perry here from Rennet and Rind, talking to you this week about your mystery cheeses. So this is week 13, I think. It's 13 now. Lockdown is slowly nearing an end. Hopeful, on the 4th, hopefully more restaurants will be open, things like that, and a little bit of normality will return. I'm on my living room floor today because we started filming outside and it started to rain, so we came in immediately because we're kind of in the flow. But yeah, I wanted to run through your cheeses with you. So if you've received a box for yourself, great, enjoy. And if you've received it for Father's Day, happy Father's Day. So, which I know many of you have, and I hope you enjoy them. I made the cheeses very traditional and very kind of like daddish, I suppose, and like robust, strong, solid flavours. And yeah, I've been taking photos of this board and I'm really pleased with it actually. So we'll dive into our first cheese on our tasting notes, which are right here, which you get. You will see everything about these cheeses, so if you can't be bothered to hear me drone on yet again for another week, then you can use these, skip this video, it's fine, no problem. So the first cheese that we have up is Sussex Brie. Now we've had this cheese on here a few times before, and it's mainly, I've been putting this on because Sussex Brie, Allsop and Walker, Arthur, he's not stocked in anywhere big, right? I say all the time, British cheesemakers are under a huge amount of pressure at the moment. When Jamie Oliver did a shout out for everyone, quite a lot of the big boys, artisan still, but the more noticeable cheeses got quite a big shout out. Arthur, Allsop and Walker did not. So I've been really supporting them because their cheese is lovely, Brie, British, real kind of easy flavours, kind of gentle, and I think it's a great cheese, so this is a younger profile, like once again looking for this kind of lactic edge rather this deep kind of gentle, mellow, easy cheese to start off with. Flavour is like mute, like dairy, lactic, milk that you're getting kind of in terms of aroma, real easy cheese, quite crumbly this one. Flavour, milk, excuse me, milky, cabbagey kind of like edge to it. Really nice entry cheese, like to begin the proceedings, and they make some fantastic cheeses there. Sussex Brie, Sussex Camembert, and Mayfield, which we've had on a few times. So beautiful cheese to start off. British, pasteurised, cow's milk, soft cheese. Leave it out for a while and it will begin to break down, but not fully break down because it's a younger cheese, and that's what we're going for. Next cheese for the dads out there. Every dad must love cheddar if you bought him cheese. I think 50% of my conversations with people have been, is it going to have a cheddar in this week? The answer is yes. I do like my cheddars as well. This is a Welsh cheddar called Halford, and it's made by Rachel Holden, and they use these specific cows called Ayrshires. They're kind of lower shield than your traditional Frisian, but really rich in buttermilk, and that's where like a lot of these amazing flavour comes from. So we've got cows, unpasteurised, animal rennet, all traditionally made. The milk is actually organic, which is a huge thing to get in the milk industry. It's a really tough challenge and very expensive, and the guys absolutely nail it every time. So cheddar, typical tang, acidity, you're about to eat some cheddar, like great aroma on there, so impactful, and I think you're just kind of gearing up for like a good time with this one. Really great flavour. Yeah, really, really nice. That's just so complex and like loads of things going on, but not in an overwhelming way. The sauciness is so perfectly balanced. The acidity isn't like, some people love that impactful big cheddar, big powerful flavours, but it dances like around. Really beautiful savoury notes that are coming through there. A bit of kind of nuttiness as well on the side. That is like a beautiful cheddar. You are going to love this one. Moving back in traditional territory, we've got the awesome. I love to support Cornish Yard. It's like a cheese that I remember like from my childhood, like, you know, kids wrapping things in nettles. You know, this is what this kind of outer thing, it's a nettle that's wrapped in this cheese. I kind of remember hearing about it and being like, that's so cool when I was younger. So it kind of has a lot of kind of memories for me because I just really enjoyed hearing about it when I was younger. It's like a territorial crumbly style. This one's got a good moisture content, you know, as you feel it. It feels, you know, I've had these out for about an hour now, and it still is, the moisture's holding on to a lot of the coldness, so you kind of know it's going to be there. If you ever want to test like the humidity and moistness of cheese, the back of your finger is actually one of the most sensitive kind of parts of your body to sense that. And like, if you want to check wetness of cheese and level, just get the back of your finger and kind of just put it on there, and you'll notice a complete difference if you go from your finger to this kind of part, whatever that is called. And it's a really good way to detect moisture and temperature of the cheese as well, rather than your fingers. They're like a little bit callous from living. Yeah, so Catherine Mead, OBE, amazing cheesemaker. This cheese is responsible for the second wave of the British Renaissance in 1992. Yarg, Lincolnshire Poacher, all those guys, we have a lot to thank, and this is a great cheese to have on here because, you know, it's got that really nice, you know, dairy freshness, grass in there, and the freshness is just lifted up. It's like a really great palate cleanser for like middle of the road, you know, of your cheese board. This is pasteurized cow's milk. I think they're Holstein Friesians. It's just really fresh, like really grassy, and it's just such a nice, easy cheese. Like, you could go back. The moisture of it is a great level, and you could just go back for more and more, like I'm doing. So I love that cheese. It's a good one to take a break from. If you're like hitting all the others really hard, you can come back to this as like a, yeah, like I said, a palate cleanser, a moreish kind of number. Next cheese is from White Lake Cheeses. We've showcased this a few times. This is a slightly younger profile than I usually have. So this is Rachel. Like I always say, guys, you know, there's an etiquette in cutting cheese. Just ignore it, get stuck in, you know. We don't want anyone worrying about how do I cut the cheese. The goal is to get it out, get your tasting notes, surround it, get your family around, and enjoy the cheese. So we can see from the colour of the cheese, you know, everything pretty much is yellowish. This one is obviously white, which is goat's cheese. And the reason for that is that goats can't absorb creatine, which is kind of the colouring in carrots. That's in grass as well. And goats don't absorb it. That's why the milk is so much more whiter after you, when you make cheese with it. So really neutral, nutty flavours, you know. So we've kind of got cabbagey, lactic kind of edge to it. Really traditional savoury tang of the cheddar. Freshness from the goats as a palate cleanser. And then the idea behind the Rachel, which is a wash rind cheese goat, is sweet nuttiness. Very mellow, easy, really moreish, great texture, got that kind of crumbly edge, dissipates and coats the mouth really nice. Really great nuttiness that's in there. Really nice. So that's your fourth cheese. The next cheese that we have, the last, one of my personal favourites, the Dorset Blue Vinnie. So Dorset Blue Vinnie, as I said, one of my favourites. It kind of almost died out. Not many people liked it, and it kind of was lost to the like sort of the annals of time. Michael Davis resurrected the recipe, started making it again. There used to be like a old rumour that essentially the guys in Dorset who was making this cheese used to say, oh, the people in London will eat anything. So they used to apparently chuck old leather boots in the milk vat to get the mould going inside the cheese, but I'm sure that's an old wives' tale, but a cool one nonetheless. Yeah, so blue cow, look at this veining. I mean, it's so consistent all the way through. So if you imagine a cheese, you know, circular cheese, you get that mould from setting your milk, cutting the junket, they call it jelly, straining the whey out, and you've got these little globules. You put those in a like a colander, really, kind of thing. The mold, it drains the whey, and you get that form of cheese. So you've got a wedge like that. There's penicillium roqueforti in there. That's your bluing. That's the cultures in there that make blue. And then you get these irons, and you put them in after a couple of weeks or days, depending on the cheese. These irons form tiny little holes in the cheese, and essentially the oxygen comes in, and that's how you get the blue veining throughout the cheese. Now, it's really difficult to do. You can get a gathering of blue in the middle, you can get an uneven balance. Dorset Blue, Vinnie, those guys are absolute masters at doing it. And if you have a look at all your pieces of cheese, the consistency of blue is just phenomenal, and that's great. So I'm really looking forward to trying it. So cut a little bit off. You know, we're happy visually with the splitting of the blue throughout the cheese. Smell, I'm getting like that farmyardy saltiness that's in there, almost like a mineral salt water, you know, seaweed kind of esque that's in there, which is just cool because it's cheese and these amino acids create so many crazy flavors. And flavor, yeah, you're in for a treat. It's absolutely bang on. We've got this kind of texture which kind of is resemblant of like a Wensleydale or a crumbly cheese. We've got this awesome saltiness that's in there, which is like on the higher level but really pleasant, and it adds to kind of like this jerky, beefy kind of thing that's going on in it, and a nice bit of bitter at the end of it, like, you know, a nice pint of wherry from your local pub. That's what it. That's the drink I think of. I love blues, so I will eat blues for days and talk about them for hours. But yeah, this is a good cheese, particularly for Father's Day. So they're your 5 cheeses. I hope I haven't taken too much of your time up. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Father's Day. Any questions, as always, just look us up, Run It and Rind. We'll come up. Give us a shout and we'll walk you through anything that you want in your cheese needs. Enjoy your 5 British Artisan cheeses this weekend, and I see you next week.